Welcome to Date with Danu, right here on Hi TV, your luxury channel. Today's show is special. We're celebrating 40 years of Mrs. World. And this pageant, for some odd reason, is very Sri Lankan. Let's speak on the show.
Hi, I'm Rosy Senanayake.
Hi, I'm Ishadi Amanda.
So today we are here to go on a date with Danu. And I'm so proud to be here with the current Mrs. Sri Lanka and the first runner-up of the Mrs. World 2024, Ishadi Amanda. So it's a great pleasure, and it takes me back to 40 years of me winning the Mrs. World and that experience, and to see a young, beautiful, stunning, intelligent girl like Ishadi bring so much glory and honor to Sri Lanka. It's a pleasure to be here with her.
I'm glad to be here with Rosy Senanayake and looking forward to do the interview with Dan.
So, welcome to the show. We have the first Mrs. World, and then we have the 40th first runner-up.
Yep.
There you go. That's what we are talking about today on the show. Congratulations to this beautiful lady who brought a good title to Sri Lanka.
Thank you.
And congratulations on being recognized and being loved by so many people and creating such an impact. So, you came from France, you knew that you wanted to take part?
Yeah, I'm living in France, and then I came for Mrs. Sri Lanka World pageant, and then went for the Mrs. World pageant to USA.
Brilliant. Now, please do note, she thinks in French and she speaks in French. So, for her to speak in English or Sinhalese, she needs to translate it. There's a lot of things happening here.
Yes.
She has to translate, then she has to spit it in the language that we require. Rosy, you have been always celebrated at the Mrs. World pageant, and the fact that this year is a special year, the 40th year, and I saw a picture with you and all the girls taking part this year as well. How was it for you to be there and see them? Because from the time you did the pageant to now, things have really changed. Do you remember the set or the stage at that time for you? Do you think the stage, I personally felt your stage was way more magnificent than the stages today.
No, absolutely. Mine was 40 years ago, and it was in Hawaii.
Okay.
And it was open, yeah. It was a fabulous stage. So much color, so much activity, Hawaiian dancers to, the military, the troops performed. And yeah, it was a bigger, that's how I remember, because I won, and it was such a significant moment. But I was so happy to be at the 40th Mrs. World, very especially to support Ishadi, because I felt that Ishadi was one of our best candidates that we had sent after Caroline. I must mention Caroline Jury, who also brought honor to this country. She was fabulous when she won. So to be after 40 years, this is a different state, a different stage. But the fact that, I had all the past Mrs. World, not all the past Mrs. Worlds, because some of them couldn't get their visa to the US, and there were delays.
Even being Mrs. World, they couldn't.
Yeah, from their respective countries, they couldn't get their visas, so a lot of them couldn't make it. But the few of us who were there, we were reminiscing on the good times. But since I was the oldest and the first born to the Mrs. World organization, it was fun, it was lovely. But for me, being there to support Ishadi was one of my primary objectives, I would say. So it was fantastic.
Now, I think you had the best reign winning the title.
Oh,
you lived in the US for 1 year,
yes.
isn't it? And
traveled up and
down, and you worked with some of the biggest brands, because it was the first year, so they really want to establish the...
No, for about a good 10 years, the Mrs. World did extremely well. I was the first, so they used me to do all the propaganda, to canvas within the States and also outside the States. So I got a lot of traveling. I think I was the most traveled Mrs. World, I would say. It was a fabulous year for me in the States, in Sri Lanka, outside Sri Lanka. The UN recognized me as the UN Goodwill Ambassador. So, with all that, I felt that, it was a platform that I had to basically champion some of the causes that I strongly believed in. So for me, the Mrs. World made me to become who I am today. So I give the Mrs. World all the credit.
Brilliant. Ishadi, how was it for you to take part with so many people from different countries, and you being so French in many ways, but yet so Sri Lankan in your heart? How did you sort of, I think it would have been either, because you have lived overseas, it would have been much more easier for you to sort of be up on the game when it comes to fashion, the way you present yourself, the way you look, like you know how to put yourself together and look phenomenal. How was it with the other girls or the ladies?
So there was like 40 countries, 40 girls, ladies from 40 countries, and I think it's such a life experience to know how to be social, how to move with other girls from, because sometimes they can't even speak French or English. So we have to like be in contact to move with each others. But
so it's like sign language.
Yeah, I think as Rosy Senanayake said, that it's a lifetime experience, because 40 countries mean 40 cultures, 40 style, 40 languages, and how they are seeing as a married woman, as a mother. Everything is like different from me. So I'm lucky to have this dual culture, French and Sri Lankan. So I think with that, that's my personality, how my personality came out, and I think I was like someone who really have this easy relation with other girls.
I must say, Ishadi was fabulous actually. You know, when she interacted with the other girls, her personality shone. And I was very proud to be Sri Lankan, because I saw her. We had several functions that we attended together, some of the galas and whatever. And when Ishadi got on stage and she had to interact with certain people or with the candidates, everybody was like admiring Ishadi. So,
but I think Mrs. World has also recognized Sri Lanka as a force to reckon with, because
absolutely
we have had, like, we have made a significant dent in this. In this pageant, for good and bad. So they are like, oh, let's look out for them. Let's get into a segment called Hot Seat. We'll be back. Thank you to our friends at Crystal Luxury Wellness for joining us on Date with Danu and for being such a support. Now, Crystal really introduces the latest and the greatest sets of treatments and medication that you can find that's leading in the business. It could be for looking fabulous, it could be for relaxation, it could be for your mind, body and soul. They have it all covered under one roof. It's all about wellness. Now let me tell you, they have a clinic that's dedicated to acne. Now it's a big problem. You could have the most beautiful features and sometimes you just don't want to come out because your acne is just bringing you down. Well, now it's time that you say goodbye to it, because they have a clinic dedicated for acne and acne prone, any type of skin rashes. You can now speak to them and come to know how you can find the solution that you need. So visit Crystal today or just give them a call on their call center. They will help you through everything. All right, we have questions now. Rosy was telling me, I forgot this hot seat thing. Sorry, so I have to.
You meant to say you have to win this
gift?
Yeah.
The two of you.
I love Ishadi too.
No.
I'll pass all my
No, this is not a gift.
Oh, I see. Okay. I love Dr. Shanik and Crystal Clinics. So.
But anyway, now these questions are just like questions, okay? Here we go. Not how Caroline did, but what Caroline did. Would you stand by it knowing what you know now?
What Caroline, I'm just baffled by the question. What are you talking about?
Not what Caroline did, plucking of the crown or saying that this candidate is not right to represent Sri Lanka, or how she did it. I'm asking, would you stand by her knowing what you know now?
No, I totally believe that Caroline was wrong in what she did.
Not what? Not how she did it. What she did?
What she did was not right.
Okay.
You know, that basically gave us a very bad image internationally, and the international press picked on it, and we had adverse publicity
Oh, now we have beaten that record. We have the
Yes.
monkeys.
Yes. So what I'm saying is, I don't acknowledge, or I would not agree with what she did,
Or how she did it,
or how
both
she
ways.
did it. Yeah.
Okay. For you, if Rosy Senanayake took part this year with you for Mrs. World, do you think you can still win?
What an unfair question. I'm old
We
enough
can't
to be a mother.
We
Looking
can
like
only
Rosy
be
Senanayake
one
and-
person from one country. So I
No, I'm just, this hypothetical question. Just go back to 1985, you're looking like this, and Rosie looking like Rosie
No,
then.
no. Listen, she's the same age as my daughter.
Right? So
No.
fine.
No, she's really fabulous, and what I love from Rosy is her personality. So I think definitely she will win.
I'm not biased, but I have to say, she will make the world look at her twice.
I'm sure.
Yeah. Whose wardrobe do you wish you could own, apart from yours, Rosie? I know you have a fabulous wardrobe, but here are your options: Ramani Fernando, Anika Fernando, Yehali Sangakara, Malsha.
Okay, so I love all of them to begin with. I love Yehali Sangakar, I love Anika, I love Malsha. Malsha is fabulous. But if I'm to stand with my
Style and
my style and my age, let's say the
Ah.
others all very much younger to me, it would be Ramani Fernando.
what would you want Rosy Senanayake to do all over again? Win Mrs. World or enter Parliament?
Enter Parliament. I think we need women that represent women in Sri Lanka in the Parliament. That's how she. The title is something about. I think all her. How to say that? All.
Say it in French.
Say it in French, it's okay.
No, but all the title is something like how everything started, right?
Yeah.
And then she decided to go to the Parliament, and I think it's important to represent women in Parliament. So I think I will definitely choose this.
Thank you.
Yeah, women of that caliber, which is
Yeah.
very important. Anyway, I must say, one of the biggest questions that I was asked to ask you, which
I
I'm going to get to when we do come back after the break, is the moment where the deciding moment happens on the stage before Mrs. World. We'll speak about it when we do come back. And there is somebody who was there, and we'll speak about it. Thank you to our friends at Crystal Luxury Wellness for joining us on Date with Danu and for being such a support. Now, Crystal really introduces the latest and the greatest sets of treatments and medication that you can find that's leading in the business. It could be for looking fabulous, it could be for relaxation, it could be for your mind, body and soul. They have it all covered under one roof. It's all about wellness. Now let me tell you, they have a clinic that's dedicated to acne. Now it's a big problem. You could have the most beautiful features and sometimes you just don't want to come out because your acne is just bringing you down. Well, now it's time that you say goodbye to it because they have a clinic dedicated for acne and acne prone, any type of skin rashes. You can now speak to them and come to know how you can find the solution that you need. So visit Crystal today or just give them a call on their call center. They will help you through everything. Now, let's talk about the great moment. You know, everyone had opinions about Ishadi's answer. She's a smart girl, she carries herself really well. And sometimes pressure can deal with a lot of things. But Rosie, tell me exactly what happened in terms of the answer moment. I think there was, you can't say one is prettier, one is less. All of them are gorgeous, and it's just a matter of choosing.
See, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, so it all depends on the judges. It all depends on how they performed overall at the preliminaries, the interviews, all that matters. But when it comes to the final 6, after the final 6, the scores are all erased.
0.
And it's a fresh start with the answers. You know, so they pick from the final 6. They have a question, a moment, and then they pick 3 from the questions. And then those 3 are also basically, they go through a question answer time, which of course
Defines the winner.
defines the winner. And that's where South Africa
Did brilliantly.
did brilliantly. But I must say, after the preliminaries, the day before, I went to the room. I told Ishadi a few drawbacks that she could have improved on, which she did actually on the final night. I don't want to mention
really
all of that.
important for me.
So I kept on telling her, this is where you went wrong in the preliminaries, on the stage, her walk, to practically everything.
Yeah.
And then I said, you know, I was a little nervous about her answering in English. So I said, why don't you go ask for your question in French? Because I knew she was very fluent in French. I kept on saying.
And it's such a sexy language.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So she said, okay, I will try, I'll ask this, that. I said, no, go ask them, you know, to give you the answer in French or a French interpreter. Then the next morning again, I went to the room, and there was this fabulous lady from New York who came to do her hair. I must mention her actually, Mashita. Mashi was like, I'm not taking the credit of Ishadi, but Ishadi couldn't have done it without the support of Mashi. She was there day in, day out. She came in from New York, leaving her work. She has a salon in the south of New York.
And you need to compete on that level.
Yes, so
Otherwise
she
it's
just came to support Sri Lanka. I mean, there are such beautiful patriots, patriotic Sri Lankans who live overseas. Mashi was one, then, you know, P.L. Jayashankar, who is like a songwriter, scriptwriter, actor, artist, who lives in Nevada, who supported all of us. You know, who was there to pick up Ishadi from the airport, to take her, you know, there were people taking her for fit-ons. They used to bring food every day, you know, the kiribat was brought on the day of the, whatever,
And
for her to
sadhu
go through the
came.
rituals of, you know, all that. So Mashi, I must say, Mashi was blow drying her hair every step of the way, what Mashi did, and her daughter, you know, basically, I think she even sponsored Chandimal's stay in Nevada. Was doing her hair. I went in the morning to see her on the day of the pageant, and I told her again, ask for your question in French. Then Ishadi said, you know, they might think Sri Lanka, and why are you asking for French? I said, if Sri Lanka can answer in English, why not in French? Go ask for it. But so it's her fault that she didn't. I think Ishadi was fabulous. She did her best, and I'm very proud of her. Every Sri Lankan who was in that auditorium was very proud of Ishadi. When it came to the question answer, you know, you can do your best, you can be fabulous, but there is that element of luck also that plays at that last minute in any competition, in any game or whatever. So it was unfortunate that Ishadi didn't win, but we would have all been very happy if Ishadi had won. But these are good lessons for us to learn.
So. And also, I think sometimes I just told her, I said, sometimes you don't need to win.
Yeah.
Because how social media celebrated you from the time you were made first runner-up, I think it proved that, you know, Sri Lanka was there knowing that you looked gorgeous. And a lot of people didn't get a chance to see your answer, and they were like, why you know, comparing the winner. But South Africa, I think the moment that was beautiful is the fact that both of you all had your TikToks going, hari, hari, hari. And apart from that, I think you all shared the room.
Yes.
Yeah.
And at the same
She's
time,
my roommate.
You should ask her for experience with
and also, I think you really celebrated her win.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is beautiful.
And I'm sure that it fits
the other
way. She will celebrate my win too.
Yeah, and end of the day, that's what you make, no? These connections that'll stay on forever.
Sisterhood and everything.
Yeah.
She had done an interview with one of the South African television networks or radio, I can't remember, and I was watching this recently because Mrs. World posted it and sent it to me, where she talks about Ishadi and said that the very first moment that they met and they got into the room, they basically told each other that we will bring the crown
to the room.
to the room.
Ah.
We'll work on it.
Yeah.
And they were supporting each other. You know, she wore Ishadi's earrings.
Yeah.
You know, they were very supportive of each other. And I met her many a times during the
But-
pageant because of Ishadi. And I got to know her as well personally. And then she said, you know, that girl, she's talking about, and Sri Lanka, so in South Africa, when the winner is being celebrated, and when she speaks of a Sri Lankan who is so fabulous, and she also said this, she said, that girl will be in my life forever. You know, talking about
And that's a
Ishadi.
winning moment.
Yeah.
You know, when you are a first runner-up and the winner, that moment, you're both equal. In fact, you'll find the anchor saying, in case
Yes,
the
yeah.
winner
You
can't,
can't.
it is your, so whether you
That's-
win or whether you're first runner-up, it is the same. It's just that, you know, one has a little bit of luck,
Yeah.
the edge.
And also, I think South Africa also needed it. I saw the airport where they danced and they
Yeah.
brought out such a
Yes.
such vibrancy, bringing her back. And I think it's a moment. We have had those moments, and we had it with you as well. So
Yeah.
it was nice to see somebody else celebrate. We'll come back. We have a set of questions called One Word. Welcome back to the show. Be a bit enthusiastic about my questions, please.
Okay.
All right. What's the worst piece of advice you have given someone?
You're asking me?
Yeah, just both of you.
I'll let Ishadi answer that.
The
Is
worst-
that the
Maybe
advice?
asking people to get into politics.
Ah, okay.
That's the worst ever, I think.
to be too honest.
What's the biggest misconception about you?
About me, there are so many.
Tell one that has really made
you know, I can't pinpoint and say it's this. When you are in politics, people who don't believe in your ideology and your party politics will always find fault with you. So they have so many misconceptions. People who have never spoken to me, who have never set their eyes on me, would think that I am arrogant, I am not reachable, all kinds of things. You know, people have said all kinds of things. There are so many. And
I
but
have
I'm-
heard one of the funniest things about
Tell
you.
me.
That you run a brothel.
My God, yes.
Are you?
This was in the 90s. It came in a little tabloid about Don Stanley's. Yeah. Don Stanley's was apparently was not a restaurant, but whoever who goes to Don Stanley's, and some
Many
rubbish that
moons
came
ago.
in the
Yeah.
Rajalia paper, which was the UN, if I'm not mistaken, the party. And today, I mean, I strongly believe in God, and I'm a very God-fearing human being. So today, when I look back, there's no Rajalia, there's no DUNF, none of those leaders are even
There.
there. And I continue to be in politics because, you know, the Lord says He will basically take care of the people that, you know, speaks ill about you. And I strongly believe in the Word of God. And I have seen the goodness of God in my life because some people who I knew very closely much later came and told me we actually believed what the newspaper said. And yeah, so
Yeah, I was very young when I heard that. I was like,
yeah. About Don Stanley's. That's because
what
we
is the
were-
biggest misconception about you?
Maybe that I'm a bad mother because I'm like here. like
no,
two
I've
women.
never heard of that.
I don't know, some comments.
Yeah, your baby's just here right
yeah,
now.
I know. I know
You know
how,
it,
Yeah, I
but
know
they
it,
don't
but
know
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
since like I'm here in Sri Lanka more than
But
4
you're with
months.
the baby's
yeah.
just here.
Yeah. What's the best piece of advice that you have gotten from someone else that you can share with us?
You're
Best
asking.
advice.
Yeah.
Okay, so the best advice has always been from my Christian colleagues, from my home cell groups, and whatever is to be honest, to be kind, to be empathetic, to put others first before yourself. And that's all to do with, you know, my religious background and through our prayer groups. We sit and, you know, we just ponder on the Word of God, and then also we learn how to communicate in the world, how to be the best of yourself to help others. So empathy, kindness, forgiving. You know, people. I mean, you said about one thing, but recently there have been so many other things that people have been saying in with everything to do with politics, and some of them are very close friends that would sometimes say things very derogative or whatever about you. I have been able to basically be strong enough to forgive people like that. I don't even go to confront anymore, because I strongly believe that if I'm right with the Lord Almighty God, I don't have to, like, you know, basically answer to the world. So, yeah, I would say it's to be empathetic, to be kind, to forgive, to help. Yeah.
I would say it's my local Ammi said that to thanks the universe always in the morning, thanks to universe, because I think that's something like internal feeling. That's every morning. Thanks to be here. Thanks to have all we have, and that's a wonderful thing, I think.
So like an affirmation.
Yeah.
Very deep, I must say. I don't always get people like this. Time for a break after this. So proud to endorse Celine. What a brand. Celine has been a brand that has not only given us beautiful pieces of garments, fabric, home decor, ornaments, toys, but they've also come with a purpose to give us the strength to say women add so much of value to our lives. Giving these women who may come from broken homes or come from a place of abuse or depression, for them to thrive, become their own bosses, to create an infrastructure that will feed their family, their homes, and so on. Celine has not only created beautiful garments, they've also created beautiful stories. So when you do go down Fife Road and purchase something for you, you know you're doing something amazing for the society as well.
Their CSR programs are amazing, what they do for,
yeah,
you know, social empowerment is, especially women.
Celine all the way. So thank you for being with us on the show. Welcome back to the show. Rosie, let's go back in time. I was not around at that time when you won, so.
You were not born.
No, I was not. I was in the making, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. My father was
because
working.
my daughters were not born. Tisaki was born like 4 years or 5 years later.
My father was working towards me. But anyway, I just want to ask you, when you came to Sri Lanka, when you stepped out of the plane, how was it?
It was great. They were
Like,
all
did
up
you have
in the
like
plane.
fanfare?
Yeah. I arrived at 4:30 in the morning.
Oh gosh.
Same.
Yes. Yeah. Very
Just
early in the
like me.
morning. So
And where
there-
do you all get dressed before? Because you know, when I come out from the US, I look like I got hit by a bus.
But we have a lounge, you know, you have the private
Yeah,
lounge.
but no lounge can put you out like that,
Yes.
man.
No, I think she slept for a little while and she was in the hotel and whatever inside the airport.
Right.
So the entire entourage, like from the organizers to everybody, was inside the plane
Right.
to bring me back down to the lounge. And of course, my baby
At
was
4:30
there.
itself.
Yeah, they were, a lot of them were there. And then that very same day, they had a big celebration at the, then it was the Intercontinental, at the Intercontinental, big celebration. And of course, the then President, His Excellency Jayawardene invited me with his wife for tea. Then the next day, the Honorable Prime Minister, and that's when I struck this friendship with Mrs. Premadasa.
Right.
Invited me, and yeah, it was like a whole month, or I don't know what. So much of celebrations where people were inviting and having functions and acknowledging the fact that
And
I
that was the
won.
first win for Sri Lanka in a beauty pageant.
Yeah. And you know, those days, there were no phones. I hardly could speak to my, there were no mobile phones.
Yeah.
There
And
was-
landlines also not everyone owned.
Yes,
No?
I mean, for us, at least Ishadi had support with her in her pageant, where Marshi came from New York, did her hair and supported her. Chandimal was there. I was there to, you know, support with morally, and like telling her, like, you know, where she needs to, like, you know, buckle down
Yeah.
and improve. There were other people also who were there. Her family came, her husband, then Mrs. Dias was there, partly.
Yeah.
She was there. But for me, I was all alone. And this is 40 years ago.
Yeah.
And at a time when I had to do my own hair, own makeup.
And how long was the flight at that time from Colombo?
It took me 33 hours or 36 hours to get to Hawaii. I went via the Pacific. I went to Korea, Seoul, and from there to Honolulu. It was a long journey, a very long journey. And I was knackered. And then the very next day there was a shoot. We were there for 4 weeks of various activities. I must say it was such an experience of a lifetime, you know, where I still sometimes sit and ponder on some of the, you know, beautiful moments of the Mrs. World. And I mean, this is a time when today when I went for the pageant this time, people are with fillers, with eyelashes, you know, faces all.
Like you could even get your hair done the way you want to today.
Yes. I mean, there are extensions and
Yeah.
whatever. So in the good old days, beauty pageants were like, you know,
Raw.
very
Raw as it
very
comes.
absolutely.
But this year, the first, second, and third, totally natural, right?
Yes.
Because we had like so many, like how to say that, unnatural with feelings, hair extension and all. But the
first
Thailand,
Yeah.
me and South Africa, we are like totally natural. Have a natural hair, natural beauty, no injections, nothing. So they, I think they went for natural things
Yeah.
again.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. And that's remarkable.
No, but yeah. I mean, when you go and when you look at all the contestants and you go back and you think, you know,
Yeah.
during your day,
Yeah.
everybody was in their beach shorts, and of course maybe because it was in Hawaii
Yeah.
and on the beach.
And also the blow dryers were not that,
yes.
they were not blowing enough.
Probably just a hair dryer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, but it was so good, so lovely, and yeah. So when I came back, and to date, people still celebrate the fact that
That
I
is true.
You know, even when I get on a political platform, the first thing the announcer says is. Loko Vivahaka Rure. He'll never say that I was like, you know, High Commissioner to Malaysia,
None of that.
I've been a goodwill ambassador, I've been the leader of the opposition in the provincial council, I've been the mayor, I've been a minister, I've been a member of nothing. It's always, and I'm sitting there making faces at people. Is that all that they can say about me?
Yeah, true. Well, I remember when Rosie used to do a show on a single station, actually Sirius TV, when GVT, then when I used to work for the 6th channel, and we used to just be like in awe every time she walks in, because she had her own shade of powder, which none of us could use, and also none of us can use.
No, I brought my own powder.
Yeah, because that color will only suit her. We'll all look grey if we put it. And they did a research as to why this show was doing so well. Apart from the content and everything, these producers dancing for lights and all of that, all what the highest feedback was, apita Rosie wa balanna asai. Just to look at you, the amount of people tuned in. So
Mind you, that was 20 years ago, Danu. So that's
Yeah.
how far back we go.
I know, I was.
We used to do a morning show as well.
Yes. She didn't like everyone, okay? She only liked a few. And I
And you were one of them.
I made it to the cut. Let's get into...
And I want that for Ishadi as well. I want Ishadi to, you know,
Yeah.
take this opportunity that she's got, because Ishadi is a lovely person, lovely girl. From the time she won the Mrs. Sri Lanka, I got to know her. I had a home, I had a family, her parents' home. Then the interaction I had in Nevada, in Las Vegas with her. You know, what you see is so beautiful, but who she is from the inside is even more beautiful.
But by the way, she's the one who wanted me to do this show. She
Yes.
called me personally and said, do this.
Thank you.
Yes.
And getting hold of her is so hard. And
I normally don't come, but I wanted to do it for
and
you.
she was here on time as well.
Yes.
Let's get into a break. We'll see you right after. Welcome back to the show. Now, here's something I want to speak about. A lot of people don't know about Ishadi, so I want to know, tell me about your husband, kids. Are you planning on more kids? What do you do in France?
So I'm 34 years old. So I went to France when I was 7, 8 years old. I did all my studies, working everything there. And met my husband when I was in Sri Lanka, because he's Sri Lankan but born in France.
Oh.
So then I had my son there and working. I'm working as a social media manager. So as you can see that I know how to manage social media. It was a really plus for even for the Mrs. Sri Lanka pageant. And yeah, that's all about me. I have my parents there. I have a brother.
Have you ever done modeling?
Yeah, I started to do modeling. First, I was really good in sport. I did like 100 meters, 200 meters.
Oh, okay.
And so I was really slim. But I don't know why I didn't went to this side, and then decided to go to modeling because I was really slim. And then I started modeling there. But at that time, brown skin
was not
a trend.
Appreciated as much as
that's how it is now. So then after, like, I had my good degree and all, I stopped modeling things. And
yeah. Well, now you are back on it.
yeah.
So brown skin, there are different shades of brown, but this is a very unique shade of brown skin.
Yeah. So. What does your husband say? Like, he married one, but now he is like bonus prize, like Mrs. World, first runner-up, Mrs. Sri Lanka World. Oh, he's not an ordinary man anymore.
He is not, but I think he knows. Before getting married, I did some beauty pageant, so he knows that I love this side. He's really supportive because he stay in France with my son, so it's a really big thing because mentally I was like okay
separation
like separation, and I was really focused for Mrs. Sri Lanka World and then Mrs. World. So yeah, I think he's proud. He can be.
Yeah.
And
yeah. Hello. How many men get a chance to say all of this?
He's actually fantastic and very supportive. I had the opportunity of interacting with him in Nevada, and I mean, I think he's one of Ishadi's biggest strengths. Yeah, and fans as well. Yeah,
and that's the most important.
And he was very sad, and he was very
really
sad when she didn't win.
Oh, really?
And we were all very sad actually, because we all thought that, you know, in that final moment, that it was going to be Sri Lanka and not South Africa. Nobody expected South Africa to win. So,
I think I am the only one. I was like okay with the decision because I was on stage with my roommate and I was like, okay, you are the winner, you are the winner. And like after that, I was so sad because after that I realized that okay, everyone is looking after me, and they were like sure that I will be the winner. And after that I cried, but on stage you can see that I'm really happy for her. And
well, I think you have marked your presence.
That's the beauty about Ishadi, that she was so happy for another person.
And that's good, and I think both of you had that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a fun segment.
How fun is it?
Kinky.
Oh. I'm very bad at these questions. Huh?
Rosy has been through this trauma, and she has just politely smiled and not answered. Ishadi, are you ready?
Yeah, I am, I think.
Good job. You know, if this was one of your final questions.
Okay.
No, they wouldn't ever give questions of this nature on that. You're hoping. You can live in hope.
Very simple question, okay?
Okay.
Have you ever fallen asleep during the process?
Be careful because I'm Mrs. Sri Lanka, okay?
Yeah.
Mrs. First runner-up, so this is my title is on that.
So I'm just asking, have you ever fallen asleep?
Yeah, when I was drunk.
Good sport. Rosy?
To be honest.
Oh, yeah. Rosy?
I don't know what you're talking about. No.
Good job. Well, congratulations. It's for you. Thank you to our friends at Midnight Divas for adding some spice to this show. You know, sometimes when older people come on the show, I'm very careful to ask this. But some surprise me, man. They have had way more colorful lives than I would ever have. Break time after this.
Bonjour, je suis Ishadi Amanda, je suis Mrs. Sri Lanka World et première dauphine pour Mrs. World. Et aujourd'hui, je suis en train de faire le talk show avec Danu et la première Mrs. World. Et c'est un honneur d'être ici. Et donc, je vous fais la première présentation et la suite en anglais.
I don't know whether you read the yellow pages, but it sounded absolutely
Very nice.
sexy.
Yeah, very lovely.
You know, it's just like, have you ever noticed when you read news in Sinhalese, it's very painful. Like, Ada proti, uday giye bus ekak happila, tun denek merila. But just say it in English and British. Sad news today. A bus going to Kurunagala has met with an accident, killing 3 people. Sounds so much more nicer, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And if you say it in French, it'd be more erotic. Yeah.
That was so lovely.
Yeah.
My God, I think,
Actually, I can endorse in French.
yes. Never mind. It's okay. You are like my Emily
You and
in
I,
Paris.
we need to go and learn French.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could be our Emily in Paris.
Yes.
Yes.
I am.
Now, this is all about photographs. We found pictures we wanted to
Oh.
share, we wanted to ask. Now, I actually found new ones of you, Rosie.
Me?
Yeah.
Anne.
So this was, oh, that's Kanishka.
Yeah, I mean,
So
so cute.
Cute. That's my son.
Oh.
He's wearing a
This
military
was,
jacket.
I think, at a wedding, and he was
The page boy.
a page boy. My brother, who was in the military, the army, at his wedding.
And see, like back in the days, dressing was also very much
Different.
Different.
Yeah. Most pictures are with him. Ma.
Yes. Tisaki and Radha are going to get very upset. You have picked the ones with him. This was in Arizona.
Okay.
I think we're going to Red Lobster, one of those restaurants.
I can't imagine that is Kanishka. He looks
Kanishka was
so,
very cute when he was.
and also he was like tiny.
Tiny.
And now he's as tall as this roof.
Yes.
Oh.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah.
Is it Amyantati?
Yeah, Ammi
Show it to the
Tati.
Sure,
camera.
sure, sure.
Show it to the camera.
Ammi Tati, my husband, and Kiki for.
Ammi also looks really young, no?
Yeah,
Ammi
looks
was
very
young.
young. Oh, Ami is very beautiful, actually, I must say.
Ammi was young,
Yeah, they
Mrs.
came
World.
home. Yeah.
I think she was 19 years old when I
When
was.
she
When
had you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why she's young.
Wow.
She's really young. This is for Christmas. I'm trying
Yeah, she's
every
beautiful.
Christmas or every event to do a photo shoot
Yeah,
with the
it's
family.
very important,
Yeah.
man. Memories are just, that's all you have
Yeah,
end of the day.
absolutely.
Look at this dapper couple.
Wow.
That's my handsome husband, Atula. So
Uh,
this is at my sister Shireen's wedding.
Oh, really? And this was after you were born?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are so natural and
Yeah.
so glam. Yeah.
Look
This
at that. So hot.
I did my makeup course with that person.
Oh,
She's here,
right.
yeah. She's
Okay.
Afghan and she's a famous makeup artist there. So I did my course there. And
You look
one,
lovely in that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
And one day
beautiful.
she asked, "Do you want to do a photo shoot with me?" And I was
Oh,
like, so
lovely.
happy. Yeah, she's really famous.
All of those
there.
girls
Now she
look
will
gorgeous.
want to do more photo shoots with you.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
There's so much of diversity in that one
Yeah,
photograph.
absolutely.
This is what you were talking about, you taking part?
Yeah.
So this you represented France for, this I can't read, that's why.
Fier d'être bleu. No, this is
oh.
something like from for the World Cup, football World Cup, I think. Yeah, I did a pageant called Mrs. Sri Lanka Europe.
Ah,
Oh, right.
then,
okay.
yeah.
So that's a Sri Lankan based one.
Yeah.
right. 3.
Yes.
So this is Mrs. World last year.
No,
no, 2 years, 2022.
2022.
22.
She
Sargam.
looks really young.
Yes.
She
She's
is-
young actually.
She's
And
That's
she's from what country?
India.
India.
Ah, okay.
Sargam, she's a really nice
And
person.
Ishadi looks so nice, even better than Mrs. World India. I hope she's not watching.
You never know, okay? Our international viewers.
No, she's a really nice
She's lovely,
person.
but yeah.
lovely person.
No, but Ishadi has like,
The
Yeah.
face.
mm,
Ta-da!
that's
Oh,
me and my
yeah.
husband.
And where was this? You all seem
So this was when he became Rotary president.
right.
He was president Rotary, I think, in the 90s. And so as the new president, his dance.
And you become the first lady of that,
Yeah,
no?
they call Rotary Ann, and that used to get on me. Ann, so I don't want to be a Rotary Ann. That's a funny name that they use on
Yeah.
the vibes.
And this is my father. We are really close, and I think I am strong that much because of him. I always saying that I started to work at 16, and with the Sri Lankan culture, normally we were in France, and you know how it is. And he always believed me. He always believed in my. I think for a daughter, it's really important that fathers believe in their
Yeah.
dreams. I think something. This is something because normally mothers are like close to daughters and they can like understand what we are doing. But when a father is behind you and believe believe in your dreams, that's something really
I
important.
think even your husband
Atula was very close to the
Yeah.
girls. And
Yeah.
he would, like, I used to be very strict,
Mm.
and Atula was the more understanding one. The girls loved.
And he is
Yeah,
the funniest dad.
Mm.
He is the funniest dad in.
It's
The dad
impor-
joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
It's
joke.
important to
Dad.
have parents supporting
Yeah.
your dreams and your, likes, dislikes, your ambitions, and
Well done,
That's
Ishadi.
nice.
I'm very proud of you, and thank you
Thank
for
you.
making it to this show.
Thank
Number one,
you.
you are gorgeous, and I think something that I've noticed. I have to say this, otherwise. Few things about you that I noticed on social media. I know that nobody is watching it, but like how you are very grateful and thankful to your national director, the way you express and how you give respect when you talk, and those were not put on. Those are things that you
Yeah.
just genuinely did, which I saw, and I thought to myself, this girl could have an air
No,
about
actually,
her.
to be very honest, Danu, I think Chandimal deserves it. Chandimal puts in his heart and soul into, because he puts the country first. He wanted somehow to win the Mrs. World back and to eradicate whatever that negative publicity that we had. So for him, it is putting the country first, and the support he gave Ishadi is unbelievable. So it's commendable. You
Yeah.
really need to commend the man for the heart and soul, and every bit of what he has, he would just put into the pageant. He's now planning to bring the Mrs.
This
World.
here.
I'm working on it
Yeah,
as
so
well.
you all are friends. You all could just
No, we'll have the next Mrs. World in Sri
In
Lanka.
Sri
all right,
Lanka.
and bring this
Hopefully.
Mrs. World, and we'll do a show
Yeah,
together.
because you know
Yeah.
why, even this time there were more candidates. A lot of them couldn't get their visas to enter the US to participate.
Yeah,
Our
they could
candidate the
come here.
last time couldn't
Yeah.
go because she didn't get a visa.
Visa.
Today she can't get a visa to go. So because of those reasons, we
Bring them
decided
here.
we bring the Mrs. World here.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And I have to say also that Chandimal is the one who created this brand, Mrs. Sri Lanka World. So I am here, Ishadi Amanda is here because of this brand.
Yeah.
And I am a product of this brand, and I have to always be like thankful to him. So I think this is my start. Mrs. Sri Lanka is my start. I will never forget that. That's my start, because I didn't went to USA like from France, like Mrs. France or something. I went from Sri Lanka, and the people here give me this chance to go to USA and represent Sri Lanka. So that's
Amazing.
because of Chandimal sir.
Well, that's your personality that comes through. So thank you for that. On that note, we need to say goodbye.
Maybe she can say goodbye
Yeah.
in French.
So we will miss you again. Then you keep smiling. It's a wrap on my show. You like
Merci beaucoup.
Ah, merci beaucoup.
Merci.
Please say something.
Merci beaucoup et j'espère que vous avez adoré partager ce moment avec nous et j'espère vous retrouver très bientôt.
Yeah, that's what she said. On that note.
Yes, and I say a big thank you. And I'm so proud of Ishadi, and I'm also very proud of Danu. Danu, from the time that I knew you to where you are today and what you do, not only just this program, practically everything that you do, is something that we all need to basically appreciate. And we love the work you do, Danu.
Thank
And it
you.
was a dream for
Yes.
me to come here
Oh.
one day. Seriously, when I'm driving, I'm always watching your YouTube channel and everything. So it's a really big honor
Thank
to
you
be
so
here,
much. Thank you.
especially with you.
On that note, goodbye, everyone. Take care. We'll see you soon.